Welcome to the December community call for Unique Network. We have most of the speakers in. We're still waiting for Greg to join, and I hope he's able to connect soon. In the meantime, I'll quickly give you an overview of what we're going to talk about today. We'll open with Alex, the CEO of Unique Network, kicking off with the community questions first off. And thank you for everyone who submitted the questions. We'll take those first. And then Alex will share a quick view and his perspectives from the year. We will then have Greg share his point of view on 2023. We have a special guest today, Josep from Music Moon. And I'm very excited to have a conversation with Josep. Josep won the Asia Pacific Hackathon we had organized along with Polkadot in September. So we'll get to all of that today. But first off, I'll hand it over to Alex to kick off with community questions. Alex, over to you.
Thanks, Chara. Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Loud and clear.
Please let me know if something breaks up, but I will go under optimistic scenarios and kind of assume that things are good, they're going good. Okay, as welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for taking the interest. As Chara has said, would like to kind of start with the community questions first, because they probably are a better gauge of what's of interest to all of you. And then we will explore some of those questions. We will explore in detail today. Some will kind of pause for a while, but let's dive into them. And so I'll cover that first, and then we'll go into the things that I have prepared actually to say for kind of the overview of the last year and next year. So the first question that we got is when a new exchange listing will happen. There's a connected one, pretty much the same. What are your plans for an additional centralized exchange listing to increase liquidity in the unique token? It can't be the end game being only listed on Huobi and that's it. This is also a crucial element to make the project and its token more widely known to the public. So, connected questions. We have connected to and have made preparations for kind of the launch on two decentralized exchanges, in addition to Akala, where we are listed and traded. Well, first of all, there is a kind of an effort going underway to organize the liquidity on Akala first, and then on these two new DEXs, one on Astar and one on Hydra. That we kind of hear from the community that are the best DEXs in the ecosystem. And so we're preparing the liquidity there, preparing the kind of coverage. So expect that to launch, probably, the end of December is not a good time to launch these things. So I would guess early January is probably the timing. The DEXs are kind of really more important for coverage of a lot of things, not only investors, but also, really people who use the stuff, and to reach out into other communities, into other parachain communities, et cetera, et cetera. So we have given a priority to that. So expect those out of big kind of
Alex, we can't hear you anymore. I don't know if it's just me or others are not able to hear as well.
You still can't hear me?
Okay, now you're back.
Jesus, sorry. Okay. Did you miss any part of the answer? What was the last you heard?
Just last 5 seconds.
Okay. Keep interrupting me then if this repeats itself. So again, there are a few more DEXs to do. We'll do them in the first half of next year. and then we will have good coverage there. And again, the attention here is to make sure that they have a decent liquidity. As for centralized exchanges, you guys probably know by now. First of all, we cannot comment when we're going to list things. I can kind of because of regulatory things, but what I can say is our view of them. Firstly, listing on a centralized exchange requires a lot of funds. It's not only expensive, it costs tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but also requires a lot of liquidity that third parties are not willing to provide in the bear market. So we have to come up with the liquidity. So the main problem is that we are very conservative with sparing cash, making sure that we use it wisely. So that's the main reason why we haven't kind of really went forward with it in a bear market. It doesn't make sense. There's kind of very few buyers. As the market warms up, it starts to make sense. We were hoping to be listed by Kraken, but they required pseudo removal, which took us quite some time to do because it was distracted by a number of things, Polkadot kind of updates and all that stuff. It's all out of the way. So I don't know. We'll try to get kind of Kraken to list us. They are kind of very specific in that respect. They make decisions on their own parameters and nothing you can do to influence them. So we'll see. That is kind of one of the best exchanges I like most. As for other centralized exchanges, we will work on it, but again, I don't promise it to be kind of quick. Okay, because of things I said. There is one exchange actually that listed us unexpectedly. We didn't know about this. It's actually an aggregator. The details of it are on CoinGecko, but that's basically a reflective of liquidity from Huobi. So the immediate kind of thing will be the immediate focus will be to improve the liquidity in Huobi, and then then we'll kind of hopefully over the first half of the year we'll find the way how to kind of expand the coverage. But again, that is centralized exchanges require a lot of funding that we thought was smarter to spend on building rather than on new exchanges in the bear market territory. Next question was, are we aware of the generic parachain ledger app? Yes, we are. We have participated in what Xanax was the team name it was doing initially, and we were waiting for them forever. We gave them everything they needed to build an app for us. I think it's 2 years ago, something like that, a year and a half ago. There are several parallel kind of options there. Certainly, we'll kind of have it covered, and we'll make sure that we are covered in some way by Ledger. Okay, next question is: are we doing anything to bring NFT collections on Unique? Not sure what the question here is, because there are 396 collections as of now on Unique, with like 250,000 NFTs or something like that, and that number keeps changing every day. I would suspect that actually it's the collectibles kind of types of collections that this community member is asking for. So if you're asking about that, again, that kind of activity requires, let's say, renewed optimism, and we're working on that optimism along the kind of market improvements. Our focus is and will be on the advanced features we have, and we started doing that a couple of months ago, and we'll do a lot more on composability, on nested NFTs, and all those things. And we aim to start our kind of attractiveness with that. And then work, of course, with other potential marketplaces for some kind of synergies and for them coming to Unique. So I expect that activity to pick up in the coming year. Maybe significantly, maybe kind of just somewhat, but certainly, we will put in a lot of efforts into composable NFTs over the next 6 months, and then probably we'll add to that dynamic NFTs capabilities and so on. Uh, the next question is, so what is our strategy for business development and bringing more projects in the ecosystem? Well, we're going to talk a lot about that today. So, it's a long answer that you will hear throughout the call. Next question. I remember claims of Unique being the most sustainable and fastest chain to mint NFTs. Are those claims still valid? Very much so. It is kind of, we haven't found, since we calculated how much CO2 we spend, we haven't found anybody who beats us on that respect. And we have done actually on the speed, we have done performance testing and improvements, and we are the fastest NFT chain in the world. And we will actually have a number of announcements to make on that in the coming year. We are kind of gearing that towards Polkadot is putting up asynchronous backing, which should kind of be alive in parachains or is already in some, but it's not with us. We'll do that, in the upcoming release. And so come January, we'll start kind of talking about that. But we are the fastest NFT chain in the world. Today, we can do over 5,000 NFTs a minute. That this is something that's not yet publicly known. It's not publicly announced. It's just for us, the community. But we looked at everybody else. Solana is, far, far behind. If you're asking that, so we're now kind of trying to figure out the best way how to promote that. But that's something that we will do in the next year. And this is something, actually, the whole story about it is very interesting because it underlines the Polkadot capabilities as well. A number of things that Polkadot does well that we have used to the maximum to make sure something like this happens. And to be clear, this is just unique. NFTs ballot or EVM NFTs in the Polkadot ecosystem are much, much, much slower. They're slower than kind of on Ethereum or about there. So this is just unique. Okay? Next question: are you looking to build outside of Polkadot? Bring your tech to EVM chains or Cosmos? I would say EVM chains and Cosmos, no, because EVM tech is, for me, last century. Is kind of, they do have a lot of big community and a lot of stuff doing and so on. But that, we've decided to focus actually on Rust technology because Rust is what we know very well. Because Substrate is on it, Ink is on it, and so on, and because that's the technology that allows really powerful things that we can kind of take to the next level. On Cosmos, we kind of worked on it actually in parallel with Polkadot a few years ago, and we didn't like what we saw there in terms of NFT module, and we still don't like it. Technically, it could be much better. We are doing R&D to see what other Rust chains are doing. So far, I don't have anything to kind of say about that. It's kind of small R&D efforts to be informed, to know, and to kind of see if there are opportunities. Most of kind of our focus is based on how do we, as you know, we are working on NFT XCM. And as you may know, and that is, that's something that's very much under wraps. It's kind of very much underway. But the next step for that, when that's done, is actually NFT bridges. And NFT bridges to other Rust chains is the kind of the best kind of the most promising area. So we're looking into that, doing R&D. It's, a couple of guys part-time kind of looking at those things to see kind of what they come up with. So far, there's no kind of exact plans or something we can talk about, but we are playing with different different blockchains. Um, Next question is with Web3 market improving, what specific markets are you targeting? Gaming, DeFi, uh, real world assets. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Chara is going to kind of talk about it a lot, and I will in a little bit. Um, Stay with us for a little bit more of those discussions. Um, okay, next question. What happened to Sapphire? We saw it for a while, and then it's not even on the website. The thing is, Sapphire was necessary when there was a lot of instability in the way that Parity handled network upgrades. We had an incident with Quartz prior to that, and we wanted to make sure we don't have it with Unique. So, Sapphire was a safe fail-safe, so to speak, at that time. The upgrade process in Polkadot has gotten much better and is stable for, I would say, a couple of years now, a year and a half. We don't need it anymore. Each of those kind of costs money to do, costs resources. So we decided we don't need it anymore. There is actually, we have several networks locally or that we run on a service, but are available for developers. But actually, there is no need for Sapphire anymore. As simple as that. Okay, two more questions. Is Unique Network planning to operate, develop, marketing spend beyond 2025? Thank you. Also, can't wait to see some working and popular products on your chain. Okay. Well, of course, we plan to operate, develop, and market beyond 2025. We do have enough money runway to take us longer than that. That's for sure. We have it for, I don't know, 3 years or more. And actually, that pot is growing. We intend to be around for, as long as blockchains are around. And that means for a very, very long time. Charo, again, will talk about kind of how we plan to kind of produce, and the kind of launch popular products on the chain. And the final question is a very good and short one. Are metaverse projects dead? Prospects dead? I would say, I see why you have that impression because, a few years ago, metaverse was a huge thing. But keep in mind that was because Facebook started kind of saying metaverse, and Facebook was $1 trillion company, so everybody paid attention. They're pretty much live. They're just kind of waiting for the right moment. And are building a lot. People who started getting into it discovered that they have to build a lot of things to make the metaverse really valuable for users. And it's not something you do in 3 months. It's something that takes years and years and years. So, expect metaverses to come back in a kind of conversations and hype again and again and again. I think we have at least a few more cycles to go before it really becomes mainstream practically. Expect a few more hype kind of cycles as well. But they're not dead. They're just working a lot because to make metaverse work. You've seen what Facebook is doing. They spent, I don't know, 30, 40 billion dollars, and they have what they have so far. It requires tens of billions of dollars more to really kind of be productive. Okay, so it took me 15, 20 minutes to answer the questions, but I felt that it was important to actually address things that are important for the community. Charo, am I okay still for a few minutes of kind of overview?
Yes, yeah, we'll go over to that next, and that's an important part of today's call. So, yeah, please carry on.
Good. Is Greg with us? Did we catch him?
Greg hasn't joined. I'll check in with him again.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll take
And
then
hopefully he's able
15
to join.
minutes.
Yeah,
So we'll see if he comes in. If not,
perfect.
and then I'll just cover. I'll check in. I'll check in with you again. And if not, I'll cover his tasks. I know everything. I know most of the things that he wanted to say.
Perfect.
So no problems there.
Thanks.
Okay, so looking back at 2023, can't say it was a great year because we were in a kind of what I see as a tail end of the bear market, where everybody suffered all the consequences of it. Projects were stopped, projects were kind of went bankrupt, projects died, and so on. We survived. And we survived and actually are in a much better position than we were a year ago on all fronts. And really all fronts. The community size, the traction, the data we kind of collect from time to time, on-chain data, the number of users, the number of active accounts, the number of token holders, all those things. We actually track them from time to time. We are waiting. A Parity data team is working on kind of this big data warehouse to kind of have ongoing reports on that kind of data. But they haven't released it. They're working on it for a year now. I hope that they will finally announce it. And after that, we will start kind of publicly tracking all that stuff for Unique and informing everybody about our progress this way, because we think that that's the best way to reflect what we are doing and what we are accomplishing or not. Um, but we do snapshots from time to time, every quarter or so, and we take the data from Subscan or some similar kind of things. And what I can tell you is we are solidly in the top 10 parachains. For a lot of things, we're top 5 in terms of user numbers, user activity, and so on. What that tells me is that it's not Unique that's doing bad, it's the market that is horrible. Or Polkadot that's has a lack of users in general. Actually, I kind of look at things this way. We were the 12th, 13th power chain to get a slot, and among and at the moment, in terms of basic matrix, the number of users, the number of active users, the number of token holders, the number of NFTs, and all this stuff. We're solidly in top 10 again for a lot of things, and very often we're in top 5. So we, in terms of the actual traction, we have done a better job than most parachains did during this time. That is, for me, a kind of objective way to measure things and measure our progress. If we would have slipped there, then I would be kind of very disappointed, because we didn't kind of trying to be aware of the pains of the market and everybody else. But this, for me, is an objective kind of criteria that tells me to kind of be pessimistic, but actually just patiently wait for the right moment for the star of Unique to shine. We've done tremendous amount of things in this year, but what we were mostly doing is looking for a product market fit. And we have experimented in and have launched dozens and dozens of things that have us in a kind of much better shape um, uh, in terms of capability of launching things and launching projects on Unique and on. We tried a number of things, and some of them are actually successful, and were just simply small or not visible to show. So sharing several stories just to tell you this is not just an empty conversation. So number one, we have identified POAPs slash community building slash loyalty programs as a kind of key area of growth in the future. Because okay, sorry, I'm just checking if the connection is good. Looks good.
You dropped for 1 second in between, but then yeah,
Okay.
then it
Okay.
was okay.
So the we and we worked because collectibles were dead everywhere this last year. Just starting to wake up. So other use cases were where we looked. Okay, we understood that collectibles in the bear market, you cannot build that. You can spend millions and millions of dollars that we don't have to kind of to risk it, and you still won't be able to do it. We focused on all the other potential use cases, NFT 2.0, which you're going to hear a lot about from us, today and in the future and every day. And we identified this kind of area of again pull-ups that turn kind of into community building tools. It turns into a loyalty program, and we experimented with that with several projects this year. We haven't talked about it much. We've talked about one, but actually we did several of them. And we will talk more about it next year because we are preparing to launch kind of a white label product for that. That makes that whole user journey and use case very easy, very cheap, very fast to build on, and so on. We have a great partner there, Lemonade, but also we did a number of things on our own. And you can see from time to time the collections in a unique being kind of created and so on. And these are mostly for that. So these come mostly for that. So it's very targeted. It's for the audience, smaller audiences, like few dozen people, maybe few hundred people. They come in, they get their PO-up, but that's tied into a registration, and then they register for becoming a part of that project, the community of that project, which then turns into a loyalty. So that project, these are entertainment or cultural projects that then take and build the community this way. So this kind of solution replaces word of mouth for a lot of musical projects, for theater projects, for movie producers, and such and so on. So this is something we worked a lot on this past year, learned a lot, and actually have things to show and work on in the future. So expect that to be kind of a big part of our go-to-market and traction we gather in the next year. So that's one example. One other thing that happened this year is we have worked closely with Parity Business Development, an organization that no longer exists. I think starting tomorrow is the last day of everybody, to bring in big projects, big leads, and so on. And we had great relationship. We built a great relationship, and we had a few kind of near wins with them. But then the last story is the most tragic one, which is we worked with a very, very interesting music project for couple of months, 3 months, on kind of a joint program going forward that Parity Business Development brought in. We kind of helped them design the product completely, and the last thing that remained to be done is the Parity Business Development went to Web3 Foundation for a grant for half of the sum. We gave them the rest that they needed in-kind engineering and some small cash, and a lot of other help. And when that happened, the decentralization announcement was made. So Web3 Foundation simply stopped giving grants at all for a while. They reopened now, but when that happened, we went to the project and actually told them, guys, we will give you the cash. Okay. And they said, would be wonderful, but we don't feel comfortable by going into a project and not having the support of the core protocol, which is Polkadot, which for them is Parity or Web3 Foundation. So that was very tragic, to be honest. But it learned us a lesson, and because of that experience, we went forward with the proposal to create Polkadot NFT Collective. You might have seen we have announced that that desire on Polkadot Forum was on our channels as well. Read a little bit about it, but we have submitted early this week the proposal to Web3 Foundation's Decentralized Future Fund to create the Polkadot NFT Collective. This is something that is happening under our leadership, but we are looking to attract all the relevant players in the ecosystem. Firstly, and mainly the NFT parachains that are active in the NFT space. This is Moonbeam, Astar, Aduna, Aventus, Moonsama, and others, and to create a collective body that helps us all. Most importantly, that kind of in the eyes of the outside world will be Polkadot NFTs. We'll see what happens with that. This is something we have been working on very, very much on for the last month and two. And actually, we have been working on stuff that's kind of important for that ever since the Parachain Summit back in June. And this is something that will be important for the whole ecosystem. But we've done a lot of work on it. We'll see what happens. So whenever that decision is made, we'll announce it. We'll talk about it. We have a strategy for if that happens, or we have a strategy for if that doesn't happen. I don't want to kind of talk about them now because I don't want to kind of preclude what will happen in that respect. We have also been working on NFT XCM this whole year, and happy to say that POC should be done. We're waiting for Akala to put in the last pieces of code that needs to be in their chain in order to enable the proof of concept for that. Hopefully, they're promising to do it kind of early next week. If that happens, then before Christmas or kind of before New Year's, we should have NFT XCM. For us, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal because XCM is core value proposition for Polkadot, interoperability. Okay, and NFT were missing part of that. They did kind of XCM for fungible tokens, but they didn't apparently didn't make things for NFTs. Moreover, they don't know how to do it. They actually delegated it to us, so which we thank them for. So we have published a couple of months ago, actually, the proposal for that on the forum for discussion, and are now finally kind of able to finish the POC and use that next year to finalize the all the components that are needed for all the interested parachains to have that capability. But again, from the PR perspective and overall reputation perspective, this is a big and important thing. And we're working. We started working, and we'll work with different organizations that kind of do marketing for Polkadot now, or that will do. They're in the process of decentralization and reorganization, etc. But we are in close relationships with all, and we hope that actually this fact that us Polkadot community members have created the core component for Polkadot is a very good news, and it's very important capability because actually NFT XCM is a bridge, okay, between chains for sending NFTs, and actually it is the most secure bridge there can be. All the other existing NFT bridges between different blockchains are far from that secure level of security and everything else. So it is a big deal. So that was important and will continue to be important. Last but not least, we have created the new go-to-market strategy, which actually which Char will talk about. I hope that I have covered most of the things. Happy to answer more questions, but I have taken more than half an hour, so I want to give Charu and others ability to talk more. All right, thanks, Charu.
Great. Thanks, Alex. I don't see Greg on, so we'll just continue. And if there are any other updates from him, we can post them offline. But as Alex mentioned, that 2023 was a mixed year. However, from a community engagement perspective, we continue to see um, engagement at sort of an increased engagement through our campaigns that we organize with our partners like Galaxy Airlift, Zealy, and now most recently Geocrace. We announced a partnership with them yesterday. So as a result, we've seen more of you have conversations with us on Telegram. And also the Twitter interactions have been steadily increasing. So that's all good sign, all organic engagement, and people are participating in our contests and campaigns. So thank you for that. We'll continue to drive that. In addition to all of this, one of the other highlights from 2023 was the activity we saw through the Polkadot Asia Pacific Hackathon and the Polkadot Relayers program, both organized by Angel Hack. We, as Alex said, that earlier it was more about collectibles and speculation around those collectibles kind of use cases that was more prominent. But since September, we started to see various applications come through, various dApps come through the hackathon and the accelerator program. In fact, at the accelerator program, we had to choose two winners. We made announcements with Forever Has Fallen and Homesy, both very interesting projects that are using advanced features, and they continue to build and grow in the background. And in the APAC hackathon, we had Live Loop or Loop NFT as the winner, who are with us today, now rebranded as Music Moon. So the point here is that we are finally starting to see much more developer activity that understand what will it take for the next generation of NFTs, the next use cases of NFTs or NFTs 2.0, and what will drive the movement in 2024. So while you've seen the names of just three winners, but I'll tell you that it was very hard for the Angel Hack team and us to select the winners, because there were various other dApps that had amazing ideas and they continue to build. We will hopefully see some of them in the upcoming Polkadot Blockchain Academy in Hong Kong. We're preparing for that as well. So there is a lot of traction in terms of build activity going on behind the scenes, and we can't wait to make those announcements, more announcements in Jan as well. That has also triggered a deeper focus on us thinking about sort of a hackathon and a micro dApp strategy, which we will be announcing in Jan. But we have the strategy and the planning documents ready. We are figuring out a few more details and we'll be sharing more with you in Jan. So all the developers in the community, a lot more exciting times ahead for you to engage with Unique Network. We are also, based on all the conversations and expertise that we have in the team, we will be sharing more insights on the use cases and the industries that are adopting these advanced NFTs through a very specific content campaign that we will be again rolling out in Jan. So there's a lot more coming. 2023, while it was a mixed year, has given us great ideas, great inspiration for what NFTs 2.0 or the next generation NFTs will look like. And we will be talking a lot more about that. And then without taking more time, I would like to bring on mic Josep. from Music Moon. Joseph, you're on. If you can unmute yourself and say a quick hi.
Hello, 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 everybody.
Th-
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joseph. So we met in Seoul for the first time when you won the APAC hackathon, organized by Angel Hack, in one of the themes and the theme category. And then we met in Singapore during Token 2049, where you actually came to our booth, you made music live, you played music, and you minted the music live on Unique Network. So that was quite an experience. It was fun, it was engaging. But we would love to know, where have you been? Because you've been working on Live Loop for a long time now. And so, where have you been? What have been your partnerships, and where are you headed? What's your vision? Tell us more about yourself, your journey, and where you are.
Okay, hello, thank you, Saru, for the quick introduction. So yeah, talking a little bit about myself. So I am an engineer and musician both in parallel, and I was always working in development. And a few years ago, I started a master's in the Conservatory of Amsterdam, and I started developing this software. It's called Live Loop. First of all, this software was an idea for myself because the existing tools, I couldn't make the music I wanted to make with the existing tools. They were too limited. So I had this vision of this software, and it was my thesis software. And it was like a quick way to make music. So I've been working in the music industry for the last 10 years almost. And then I realized for the last year I was thinking how to link making music and NFT, because the idea of the NFTs was something that I really like it. I like how to to getting rights for your music, because this is a problem that is happening in the industry right now. Like the musicians, they don't have easy ways to register their music. And if you want to register your music, you have to go to the big labels, or you have to go to some governmental database, and then you don't own the music. So this is an idea that I really like to bring up. So it was this hackathon, and then I realized, okay, so I can bring this idea with the existing software that I already have, that I was working on it for all these years. I can make music, and then with the music I can make a NFT platform. So this is what we did for the hackathon, and we won, and it was really such a good experience. And so from there we keep working on what other ideas could we bring for the musicians to monetize their work. And then we decided also to make a DAO, so musicians can grow their audience, keeping in touch with the audience. The good part about this is, like, everything is decentralized, and the artists have the whole power over it. So yeah, this is how Music Moon came to life, and we think about a Music Moon for a platform for musicians and labels where they can grow their audience, get rights for their work, and monetize their music. So basically, this is what we are building now.
Amazing, great, thanks. And Josip, why Unique Network? What is it that you found unique at Unique Network that you decided to build?
So it was good. It was, first of all, we saw the idea of working in Polkadot. It was interesting because using the DAO, and we can develop in a different place, and then working with the NFTs with Unique Network, and it was easy to use this parachain, right? And besides that, I will bring this answer to Husman, who is the developer, is also here. We can come to the call. He can tell us a little bit more why he likes using Unique Network for development.
Amazing. Usman, if you can request to speak, we'll give you the speaker access. And in the meantime, Yeah, one more question for you, Joseph. So, what does your musician network look like right now? And I remember you talking about partnerships with certain universities as well. And how are you bringing that to the platform? If you can talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so during this years of working with Live Loop, I've been in many conferences. I've been in the music industry. I've seen how everything works, and I have partnered with some schools. I've been teaching, for example, at Berkeley School of Music from Boston, and also the Conservatories Amsterdam. I've been connected with some schools. And also, I've been in some organizations where there are like for DJs or music producers, and yeah, all the industry. Mostly, I've been going to most conferences about music and technology in Europe and the world, and I gather a lot of contacts and I work with a lot of musicians. So I can't wait to have all this development finished so I can invite all these influencers and friends as well to join the platform and start enjoying what Moon can offer to them.
Amazing, amazing. And I know you're building a lot more things in the background. Can't wait to announce when that's ready. So thank you for joining us. And if Usman is a speaker now, maybe we can hear from him. If not, then not a problem at all. We'll get his inputs into the community after the call. So that's great. And then Joseph, what is in terms of the industry, the music industry? I mean, there are various segments of revenue, right? And streaming is one. Then there is vinyl, there is sync licensing, and there are various other components. Are there specific revenue segments that you feel can be better addressed for the musicians through a platform like this? Is that something on your mind? And how are you approaching that?
Yes. So, you mean that with the new developments?
Yes, I mean, how do you? You mentioned that it's the musicians can make better revenue by engaging with their communities directly. So how are you approaching that piece?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, right now, if a musician wants to make revenue, they have to go to the main platforms. For example, we are also developing like the streaming platform, so the audience can listen to the music and buy the NFT directly from the app. And so the other platforms are meant for the users mostly, and our platform is meant for the artist point of view. So what I mean is, in this case, the artists may get most of the revenue that they make from the music, and this is the interesting part, is that it is centralized and they control the whole their business. So this is something that never could happen in the history of music, basically. So it's the first time that the idea seems, I think it's for some musicians seems too wild, because this has never seen. But we hope that when the platform is ready, the people will join more. The musicians will enter more and discover this world of blockchain and what it can offer to them, because we really believe that the future of music is more independent artists working on their own, and with this technology, this is a good way to achieve it. Husman said he requested access. If you can give him access, he can talk.
Let's check for that. Okay, let me just.
Yes, so I'm not getting any request at the moment. I think X is blocking the request or something like that, because it might be a new account.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that happens sometimes. If it's a new Twitter account, we may run into challenges. But what we can do later is we can have some codes from Usman and then have them shared in our Telegram group. Usman is a lead developer for Music Moon, and he's been he clearly understands Unique Network because he's trying to do a lot of cool stuff, and we've had a few calls with him. So looking forward to sharing his perspectives with the rest of the community when we can later. Great. Thank you so much, Joseph. We are looking forward to all the announcements that will come as a result of all the work that you're doing in the background now. And hopefully the community will be able to engage with all the music. First of all, enjoy the music experience, and then participate in it as well. So we'll have you back when the timing is right in Jan. And coming back to, thank you so much for joining us today. Coming back to our Jan call. So there is, we will be planning the next call around mid-Jan, and we have, as I said, great announcements coming in for the developer community. So in the meantime, brush up on what's the Unique Network documentation. There is a lot of interesting announcements coming in for you where you will be able to participate and build stuff. And for the rest of the community, more insights coming from what we've learned this year. So that would be all from me. Alex, would you have any other points to anything else to share before we wrap up for the day?
Sure. My basic kind of message to the community is, first of all, thank you for sticking with us. We understand this last years, actually, well, the previous years was year of building, and then this year was about trying to find product market fit. We believe that we have found a number of potential growth areas. And what kind of I'd like to promise to the community is actually you're going to see a lot more things this year. So this coming year, it will be all about trying to show the world, the community, the potential partners, the existing partners, the kind of ecosystem in general, things that we can and are doing. It is about getting NFTs too into the real world, getting it into showing it in small pieces at a time, and then hoping that those small pieces at one time will bring in the big pieces with time. So, expect to be entertained, expect to be intrigued, because what we are planning to do and what Charles started talking about a little bit, and we will announce again in January, but we will be doing a lot of small things that actually everybody can play with, everybody can do for the sake of fun, for the sake of maybe winning small rewards or big rewards, or for discovering the NFT 2.0 software and what it can do and what it is doing and so on. So you will see a lot more things. So if you're still with us on this call, then you will find a lot of very interesting things to play with. We started doing several things in the last couple of months, and actually you're going to see a lot more. And one of the first will be our friends at Music Moon, who are doing something very cool. I know, big part of our team is really looking forward to that. I know my son is. Okay. I'll let them kind of talk about that and kind of the outcomes and so on. But I must say that I'm very excited about use cases like what they're doing and the potentials for them. They are very cool, and hopefully a lot of people agree with us. If that happens, then we're going to have a new revolution in NFT space and in music as well, which will be a very kind of comforting and satisfactory outcome for me. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you again, and looking forward to talking a lot more in the next year and doing a lot more of visible stuff.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll stay in touch. Stay tuned to our channels. More announcements coming in December and a lot more in Jan. So see you all soon. Thank you.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.